Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Michelle Kaira and I'm the founder and CEO of fitmama Fitness. In today's session, I want to briefly touch on goals, motivation and creating habits, because these three areas are absolutely critical to your fitness success. And you might be thinking, well, what kind of goals do I need to set? How do I create some habits around that? And what is motivation? When you are a completely stressed out individual, a mum or a dad, and you are thinking, really, I just don't have a clue how to even start this process anymore. So let me just give you a little bit of background on my situation and what I have done in the past, and then what I've created for my clients, and see if that helps you at all. I hope it does. First of all, the reason that's triggered me for doing this video is that I'm hearing during this particularly difficult period of time from a lot of my friends who are saying, I just do not have any more time to do anything else. And that includes fitness. And it's a really sad observation that I have made over the past decade that women, once they become mothers, they tend to put their own fitness on the back burner. They are dealing and they're stepping up to the plate to take on board a lot of the family duties. Obviously, if they are doing things like going through a pregnancy, giving birth to a child, and then breastfeeding. So these are things that are specific to the female in any relationship where you have a baby, where a baby is concerned. But if you are a parent in general, I tend to find that the mother puts fitness as a second priority, and it's not up there as the most important thing that she has to do day to day. I have noticed a huge shift in trend to women who are putting self-care as quite an important factor, and that's fine, but self-care, you can tick the box for that in your mind of running a bath, having a bath for half an hour, taking some time out to have at the moment a wine and Zoom sessions, with your buddies, being on House Party app and meeting up with other people. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. That is absolutely perfect, and that works for your mental health. And just a reminder, in fitmama, we look at three areas, a trifecta approach: fitness, which covers the exercise part; health, which covers food and nutrition; and the third part is vitality, which is mental wellness, really in a nutshell. So that vitality piece where you're ticking the box to say, well, I'm really looking after myself and self-care is important to me. I like to read at least 3 pages from my book every night before I go to bed. I like to do some stretches in the morning. I do meditation. Brilliant. No problem with that whatsoever. The fitness element and how to get on this cycle of I love fitness, I want to do fitness, it's something I enjoy, it's something that you're really going to have to tackle if you're somebody who cannot seem to make that part and parcel of your day-to-day living. So first up, just now I'm hearing from a lot of female friends, mothers, who are just saying, I just don't have time. I really don't have the capacity to take on anything else in my day. I'm homeschooling, I'm looking after children, I'm trying to hold down a job, I'm trying to do the best I can in my relationship, I'm trying to keep on top of things in my house. I honestly can't add another thing on. And I really empathize with that. I really seriously do. I'm a single mum. I've got a child who is at school age. I'm homeschooling. I'm looking after him. I'm trying to look after myself. I'm trying to run a fitness business. I'm in startup zone. Zero income because personal trainers are not able to do any work face to face. So everything is online based. So I really, truly, and honestly can empathize entirely. And I'll take it one step further. The fitness side for me is okay, I can do it. If I download a fitness app, I actually open the app and do something. But where I can empathize entirely is learning French. I've lived in a French-speaking country for the last decade, whether it be in Europe or North America, Canada. My French, if I can find a magic way to suddenly wake up in the morning and I automatically speak, hear, read and write fluent in French, I will happily take that pill. Give it to me. I'll take it. So I can see where you are at the moment where you're like, I can't seem to just do this fitness, this exercise. I can't seem, it just doesn't click with me. It doesn't work. I can't seem to make it my day-to-day habit. You know, help me. I can empathize learning a language. I am really just struggling to get on top of French. It just never seems to click with me. So I can empathize with you. The other thing is that when we talk about fitness in the home, we have got to be really brutally honest here and say that a lot of us without a huge disposable income are not able to buy the hardware in order to work out at home. And we also don't have the space. I don't have the space anywhere in my apartment to put an indoor cycling bike, a spin bike, any weights, any for weight training, or anything else. Resistance bands, these bands that you have that, you know, create a bit of resistance, you tie them around doorknobs, your bed, or whatever you want to do. These work really well for people who are traveling a lot, when you can just throw in almost weightless into your bag, into your hand luggage, and then you've got something to use when you're out and about. But for me personally, I just actually find body weight as effective, so I just don't tend to use them. So aside from that, I'm not any better than anybody else where I'm saying, well, I've got, you know, a separate room that's a home gym. I don't have that. So I don't have the space, and I don't have the funding, and I don't have the hardware. So I have to rely on things that are online based or are app based so that I can get some inspiration and some motivation. And here's where that falls short. Going back to my own story about learning French, I downloaded the Duolingo app on my phone, and I think I've opened it maybe 3 times. It's probably wasting tons of memory on my phone. I can probably delete the app, no problem, and not even worry about it. And I wonder how many times you're downloading fitness apps and doing the exact same thing. You download it with full intentions, you download it and you think, this time I am going to stick to it. It's on my app. How more convenient can it be that I just have to open something and it tells me the workout that I've got to do? But when I'm listening to some clients, I'm hearing that no, they're not doing that. They download the app just like I do with the language app, but they don't actually do the work. And that is where you're falling short. Few things that you need to address. First thing is goals. Second thing is motivation. Third thing is habits. Now these 3 items go in a continuous loop, always. And you can adapt these for everything, whether it be changing your food, so moving from a meat-based diet to a plant-based diet. How do you change these elements? It could be starting a new job. It could be trying to go for promotion. It could be working through exams. It could be how to adapt a new hobby that you're looking to do. It could be literally anything. Where we're concerned about in this session is regarding fitness. And when I say fitness, I'm talking about exercise. Okay, so let's narrow it completely down and say, what is stopping me today doing a 10-minute workout? What is stopping me? So you've got goals, you have motivation, and you have habits. And all 3 of those have to work in order for you to start the process of creating a vibe of exercise is part and parcel, part of my day. It's part of my day, and without it, I would be absolutely lost. Another example would be podcasts. I listen to podcasts all the time. Every single day I listen to podcasts. I love to educate myself. I love news podcasts. I love politics. I love business. So I listen to a lot of these types of podcasts because I walk a lot, all day, every day. I don't really take public transport. I tend to walk to my work. I tend to walk home. So I have a good chunk of the day to listen. This goes back to why am I not doing my French language when I'm walking, but I don't. I listen to podcasts. So as soon as we were shut down, I stopped listening to podcasts. So as soon as the virus hit where I live, I stopped listening to podcasts because I did not have that routine and that association with listening to podcasts, walking. That was completely broken. I was walking nowhere. And when I was walking with a super chatty 8-year-old boy. So there's no chance for me to listen to a podcast. And day to day in my house, I wouldn't listen to a podcast because I'm busy doing other things. And when I listen to a podcast, I just like to listen to the podcast and take on board what they're saying. So I lost that routine entirely. I don't know when I'll next listen to a podcast, but I haven't listened to one since the middle of March. That's how easy it is to break a habit. It's so easy, which means that if you stop doing a workout or you stop exercising, once you're on to the habit, it's very easy to stop. It's very, very easy to break it and just to say, well, I can't do that today. I've got a slight injury, or I didn't sleep well last night, or I didn't find time today, but tomorrow will be fine. And that's it. Your habit is broken. So the key element then is back to this goals. It's back to the goal setting, and it's back to what is it that you're actually trying to achieve. Now, when you work in business and you work in corporate offices, you will find that your appraisal is kind of geared around SMART goals. So specific, measurable, achievable. You can record them. There's terms around it. You've got a specific amount you've got to achieve before you can then get your pay rise or your bonus or whatever it is that you're measured against. When you use those same SMART principles and bring them into your personal life, they don't quite hit the mark because that's a little bit too strict, because you're trying to perform for the benefit of an overall company, and you have many people in that company that are all working on SMART goals to achieve a goal for the company. So it's a little bit difficult to, span that across into personal lives. So for me, I take the idea of SMART goals, but I actually, when I'm working with one-to-one clients, I say to them, we need to create deep and meaningful goals specific to you and your life. So there's no point us saying something like, I want to work out this week 3 times per week for 20 minutes, and I'm going to tick these boxes. That's not actually deep and meaningful. That's quite prescriptive. You're getting a specific measurement there. That's it. That's not actually your goal. You have to think about what it is that you're trying to do. And fitness usually, and exercise usually, maps across to losing weight or gaining weight, depending on what you're trying to achieve. It is feeling fitter, and lots of people have different definition of what fitter means. Being healthier. There's another element where people are trying to tick a box for health reasons. So maybe they've got high blood pressure or low blood pressure, a physiotherapy injury, and exercise is the solution. There are also people with mental health issues as well. So mental wellness comes into play. So people suffering from depression, you will hear, if you read anything about depression, it usually says the first thing you should be doing is exercise. And the key point that's missing is when people are depressed, the very last thing they want to do is pull on training gear and go out there and do the walk that they're advised to do, or the run, or get out there and get the endorphins moving. So there's a little bit of a trick there. You have to trick the brain, and that's the bit that's the hardest part. So the goal setting element has to be deep and meaningful. It has to be purposeful. It has to be something that really does motivate you to make a change. So that's your goal setting part. I want to then go on to talk about creating habits. But first of all, I want to share this screen with you. And this is from my fitmama 90 days. So it's a 3-month program. And we have a whole section on goal setting because, believe it or not, every day for 1 week within this course, we deal with a different area of goals. Because overall, when you're looking at your overall concept of what is it I'm trying to do with fitness, you'll actually find that might link into other things. There might be money issues or career issues that are impacting on your ability to physically work out. If you're somebody that has to work 12-hour days, or you work very far from your home, so you've got commuting to add into it, so you've got lack of energy maybe at the end of the day, money, you don't have a lot of money to do things, etc., etc. So I look at a holistic view. So in goals, we set the goals from day one, and then every day we are looking at different areas so that we can say, okay, what is the main large goal that you would like to achieve in this genre, and what are the 3 mini goals? And then from there, we can then break it down into even smaller, what I call jigsaw pieces, where you've got tiny little elements, and those form almost like a to-do list. So your physical health and fitness goals, to give an example, it could be that your goal is, I want to take part in a relay triathlon, which is in 5 months' time. And out of my group, I've been selected to do the cycling part. So from there, the cycling part is going to be 20 kilometers. I've never cycled past a kilometer in my life since I was 5 years old. What are the goals, what are the steps to get there? And the individual jigsaw pieces will be building up on your stamina, your endurance, and your physical ability to actually cycle 20 kilometers. And then once you're able to do that, it's then to pick up the speed. So your cadence is so fast that you're doing best times in that 20 kilometers, okay? So that's how we break it down. You're setting a large goal, deep and meaningful, something that means something to you, and then breaking that down into tiny jigsaw pieces, which are almost to-do list, okay? So we spend a lot of time looking at goals, and then from there, we then look at motivation and habit. How do you create the habit, and what is the motivation to do that? So when we are talking about habits are the most important element of literally anything to do with personal training. Normally, the habit is created because you are physically meeting your personal trainer 2 or 3 times per week, and you're spending money. So it's a backhanded habit, because what is happening actually is you're handing over money and you're thinking, I want something for that money, so I'm going to pitch up for this no matter what. And it's really good because you're actually creating a habit. You're creating a routine that every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1 p.m. I meet my personal trainer. So it's very, very good to do that. I have a client recently who is postpartum, back to work, and the gym that I work out of, her office is next door. And she came in and said, I want to be fitter. I want to get healthy. I do want to feel like me again after I've had my baby. My baby's 8 months old. I've waited a long time to come back into fitness. I want to pay for a personal trainer for me. I want to get back into this, and I want to see you twice per week. Now, we did twice per week up until when we closed, and that created a habit. And she was absolutely devastated when we closed down for the virus, because she said, we've been doing this for 2 months now. I really love this time together. I love that I'm doing something for me. And I know I cannot continue this back home, looking after a baby, doing my work with my husband. Parents are nearby. I know I will not keep this up, and I'm absolutely devastated because I just know I can't carve out that time anymore, which is such a shame. So the habit part for her, when she created the habit, was fantastic for her. But don't get me wrong, there were days when she arrived and she said, oh, I just got no sleep last night. I think baby's teething, or something's up, or something's going on. You'll find that there's always a phase that babies go through. So you think you just get through one phase and they go straight into another, and you're like, okay, here we go again. And for her, the habit was there, but sometimes she would arrive and be like, I'm just not up for this at all. So that's somebody that's got goals. That's somebody that created a habit. Time to time, motivation was just non-existent. So for the motivation part, I would be saying, okay, here's what we're going to do. On a simple piece of card, I want you to write how you feel before you come to the session with me. And that's kind of like what you would get. Tired, can't be bothered, stressed. Okay? So this little business card, you can then put into your wallet, your purse. That's how I feel. Can't be bothered, tired, I'm totally stressed. Once you've done the session, you do the same exercise again and you write down how you feel. Energized, so glad I did it, motivated. So you've got both of these cards, and both of these are legitimate feelings. They're absolutely you. Everything that these are you. This is exactly what you've decided to write. They're in your handwriting. And the point of that is that you're able to look at the before one whenever you can't be bothered and look at it and go, God, I know I've been here before. I felt like this before. And that's how I felt 30 minutes later. So, have I got the 30 minutes today? I think I do. This is how I'm going to feel. Do I want to do this? And that could be enough to get you at least into your training clothes and you think, right, I'm going to give this a go because I want to feel energized. Okay? So that's a little tip for you that I always give. That's your handwriting, it's your pieces of paper, it's in your purse or wallet, you're pulling them out and you're saying, I've been here before. I couldn't be bothered the last time, but I'm so glad I did it. So I'm going to go ahead and do this again. The second thing from that I would say to you is at least do the warm-up. If anything, start the warm-up of your workout. And once you've done the warm-up, if you genuinely at that point think, no, I'm just not feeling this at all, I don't want to do this, then do a quick stretch and you're done. Okay, at least you tried. There's sometimes reasons underlying that aren't very obvious, but your body's just not up for this. And sometimes if you push yourself when your body is not wanting to do something, it can actually backfire a little bit. So do listen to your body, but your mind, you have to try and trick your mind and say, look, I get that you can't be bothered, but we should go ahead and do this session because I know I'm going to feel good afterwards. Another thing you need to think about is once you've set these really deep and meaningful, powerful goals, you need to have it in your mind. These goals are forever moving. It's a moving feast. Don't ever, ever get yourself in a position where you reach those goals and you think, great, I've done it. That's it. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Set the next set of goals. Set the next set of goals. Keep on changing, keep on evolving, because you need to continually improve or change or pivot. So in fitmama, I use a spectrum. I do fitness for health or fitness or sport. So exercise for health, fitness or sport. And you could move from the sport zone straight into the health zone. An example would be someone who is super sporty, gets an injury doing something, either in a plaster cast or out, broken limb or pulled tendons, muscles, whatever it would be, and they are straight away into the health zone because they need physiotherapy. Then they need to gradually make their way back into personal training and gradually make their way into the fitness zone again and then move back into sport. Same would be the case if you were pregnant. You might be in the fitness zone and working out 3, 4, 5 times per week. You fall pregnant and your pregnancy is not as you imagined. Something is not quite there that you need to be able to, that you're able to do full fitness. I had SPD, I had split abdominals. So I, moved in to the health zone where you're ticking over your health until the baby is born, and then you're slowly getting yourself back into the fitness zone. So there's no change to your goals, ideally, but you might move in that spectrum. So your goals may be, I want to be fit and healthy. I want to be able to play with my kids. I want to be able to go out and do a basketball session with them. I want to be able to swim with them to help them with their swimming classes. I want to be able to, whatever it is. But you yourself, you might find times where you move along that spectrum, health zone, fitness zone, sports zone, back and forward. Nothing wrong with that. So be very adaptable where your goals are concerned. The areas you really need to work on are habit and motivation. What is it that you can do to create habit? What is it that's going to keep you motivated, which keeps you creating a habit, which keeps you moving towards your goals? And these 3 things have to work in tandem in order for you to embrace exercise every single day. The last thing I'd say is when I get some clients on board, they approach me and they say, okay, I'm looking to get going. I really want to do this. What's your advice? You know, I really want to get fitness into my life. What's your advice? Just like with me with the language apps, you can download 50 apps if you like for fitness. There are so many out there that are absolutely superb apps, absolutely brilliant, but they require you to do. So you can download what you like. That's fantastic. You could pay subscriptions for things. If you're not actually doing the work that's involved, you will never ever create the habit. And it's very difficult for me. Sometimes I have to be super diplomatic when I speak to people who say nothing works for me. And what I really want to say and cut through the bullshit is to say to them, what are you actually doing? Are you actually doing any of it? Are you working out? Are you making the effort? What are you doing? And I don't say it as harsh as that, because obviously I'm a coach. I'm trying to coach people. I'm not trying to, you know, knock them out. I want to coach them. So I want to make sure that they are feeling motivated and that they are, you know, they're reaching out to me. I want to give them small steps to achieve. But deep down, I'm thinking, you'll be like me with the French app. I bet you don't even open that app and do a single thing. So you've got to get a little bit real with yourself. Be very, very honest. Are you opening a fitness app and not actually doing anything? Because I can tell you, as a personal trainer, and prior to becoming a personal trainer, I was really into fitness from the age of school age. So it's not something I need to convince myself to do. I like fitness, I like exercise. So, I find it second nature, really. So when I open a fitness app, I do it. And I look and I think, oh, that's a really good idea. And I follow other fitness apps. I really enjoy them. I like seeing what other trainers are doing on these apps, and I get some really nice ideas. I love it. So it's not hard for me to do that. But I can understand and empathize, along with my French. You can open that YouTube channel. You can open that app. Are you doing any of it? No, you're not. So here's an idea. Find something you actually enjoy and spin that into exercise, okay? The recommended medical amount of exercise you should be doing each week, you can find out in your government channels. You can go onto your government websites and you can find out what is the recommended amount. It usually is around 150 minutes per week. And X minutes of that have to be high cardio, where you're almost out of breath, you're struggling to speak, you're not able to chat with your buddy. Depending on your age and depending on your size and weight. And there's a lot of different elements to take into account. But in the main, it's 150 minutes per week. And you might look at that and think, dream world, how am I going to get to 150 minutes per week? And sad reality is, every single day, you should be doing 10, 15 minutes of something. So these apps that you're downloading, if you are downloading them, why don't you just bet against yourself and try them out? Just imagine, just for once, if I did this and actually followed through, where would it take me? Would I create a habit? Would I do something? The other bit is, like I say, find something that you enjoy. Now, you might not like doing push-ups and burpees and mountain climbers. You might be, I don't know, maybe a yoga person. You might be a Pilates person. You might be a running person. You might be a dancing person. Why don't you find out, through doing deep and meaningful goals, what it is that brings you joy, and then manipulating that into, well, this is exercise. And here's an example. I was listening to a famous actress in a fireside chat a couple of weeks ago. And she said she wishes she was a runner, because now that we're in lockdown and you get one exercise hour or whatever it is per day, she said, I wish I could put on trainers and go out for a 5K run and A, feel motivated to do that, and B, enjoy it. But I don't. I just can't stand running. I hate it. It's just awful. But she loves rollerblading, because she was a skater, an ice skater, when she was a child. For 10 years, she did ice skating at a very high professional level. So now she's like, I just pull on my rollerblades. So my son is cycling along, I'm on my rollerblades, my husband's running. Everybody's happy, we're all doing things we enjoy. And that, I can't honestly, it's just a perfect story and a perfect example. find something that brings you joy that you can manipulate and say, well, that's my form of exercise, I'm going to do that. Believe it or not, dancing and doing videos for the likes of TikTok is crazy fun, and it's just fun. It's just absolutely brilliant. I did a couple of videos with my son, and it took us 8, 9, 10 takes to get the positions right, the arms right, in time to the music. You're practicing that whole time. The sweat was pouring off me. We were having fun, we were jumping around. Genuinely, I felt like I'd had a workout because I had to record it so many times and practice, and let's do another round, and let's try it again, and let's try it this way, and you stand there and I'll stand here. And it was such good fun, and it's something that I could do with my child. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's up for that, and you might be thinking, God, I can't think of anything worse than downloading yet another app and social media and doing something else. I get it, that's fine. But you have to find something that you really enjoy and then start with that. The reason for doing that is if you start with something you super enjoy, all of a sudden you're creating a habit, and all of a sudden you're reaching some goals that you might have set. Lose 2 kilos, feel a bit firmer, you know, be able to get back into this pair of jeans. Whatever your motivation is, these are weight loss related. You might be weight gain, or you might be toning gain, or something like that. That's creating that little bit of a habit, ticking a little bit of your goals there, and then it triggers your motivation, because your motivation is sky high. This works. This is working for me. I'm going to keep on doing it. And then that continues on. It's last thing I'd say is it's very easy to back out of something. With fitmama, what was important for me is I set up this platform and I decided to monitor, set up a minimum viable product, an MVP, and I wanted to monitor the subscription model side to see what the churn rate would be. A churn rate is how many people come off the app and cancel their subscription in line with people who come on and start paying for a subscription. It's a churn rate. And I've only had 2 clients leave fitmama, and those clients have left because, one, they were doing other forms of fitness. So they didn't see the monetary point of paying for a subscription, but actually they were engaging in other stuff that they wanted to do. And the other stuff were things like rowing, cycling, running. So things that fitmama were not covering. So for them, it was quite an easy decision. You know, I love fitmama, but I'm doing these other things I really enjoy. And the other one was someone who said, I just don't use it. That same person who said, I just don't use it, I love it, but I don't use it, that same person had been speaking to me and saying, nothing is working for me, nothing. What do I need to do to get this into my life? And again, we go back to the harshness of my answer. You know, do I honestly say to that person, well, you need to be honest. Are you actually doing it? Are you actually doing 10-minute mini workouts every single day? Are you doing any of the 40-minute workouts that I've posted? What about any of the live sessions that I offered? Are you doing any of them? Because if the answer is no to all of those, then you have to look at yourself rather than nothing works for me. It might be that you need constant prodding. You might need to be constantly prodded. Can you do this? I'm asking you to do this for me. Tell me when you've done it. I personally cannot stand that way. That doesn't motivate me in any way. Anybody that prods me and continues to prod me, they're promptly put into the nagging file and they're binned. I cannot stand people nagging me, just cannot stand it. So that would never work for me. But for some of my clients, I know exactly that I need to be on them all the time, constantly. Have you done this? When are you doing that? What did you get for that? Are you doing this? Blah, blah, blah. It's not my style, but it might be their style to receive it. It could be the only way that they're going to do something is by having that hard tone of, can you get this 10-minute workout done within the next 30 minutes? Let me know when you've done it. I want to see a photo, selfie of the sweat. You know, some proof. I mean, I don't know what it is that some people are looking for, but is it that? Because if that's the case, then you're talking about money. That's going to be such an expensive way to learn how to keep fit. So again, for the people who are saying nothing works for me, if that's your excuse for not doing any of the fitness and any of the apps that you download, my feedback to you would be, first and foremost, be truly honest with yourself. If you're just loading these apps and having a look at the exercises and looking at the workouts and not actually doing them, try just doing them. Novel idea, but literally just do it. What do you need? For a woman, you need a sports bra, you need a pair of trainers if you're outdoors. That's it. You don't need any fancy kit. You need the sports bra purely to protect your breasts. That's it. Okay, you don't need anything more than that. So for me, I would say, why don't you give it a go and try it? And if that doesn't work for you and you're still not motivated and you're still not doing things, then okay, a personal trainer could be the absolute answer for you. Pay the money and get that personal trainer on board and say to that personal trainer, I am struggling to make fitness and exercise part and parcel of my life. That's the goal of hiring you. Your job is to make sure that I work out 5 times per week, 3 times with you and 2 times where you're prodding me, and I'm going to pay you for that. And I'm going to pay you for 2 months, and I want to have that habit created because I'm sick and tired of falling off the wagon. You will get trainers who will take you on board with that. But my advice would be, try first to do it yourself, find your deep and meaningful goals, create habits, find the motivation sparking even a little bit, and keep that cycle moving. The momentum, the traction can only come from you. Something only you can do to keep it going. And you are definitely worth it. You're absolutely worth it. Now, final thing that I would say is, if you fall off the bandwagon and you break the habit, get back on as soon as possible. Once you've broken a habit, it takes so long to recreate it again. It's very, very tough. People think that creating habits is really easy. It's not. Creating a habit takes a lot of self-discipline. So once you've created that habit and you're into fitness, don't slack off at all. If it's fitness, or if it's learning a language, or if it's reading every night, or if it's meditation, all these things that you find difficult to do, once you've got them embraced and once you've got them embedded into your day-to-day life, please don't let them go, because once you do, to get them back in again, it's like another uphill battle. Okay, so just once you've got them ongoing, keep the traction going, keep the momentum going, and don't let go. So at the end of this, I would say to you, community spirit is a really good way for some people to find like-minded individuals. There's a Fit Mama club, there's a Fit Papa club. You get a 10-minute mini workout every single day dropped into that forum. So every day you've got an opportunity to have a look at a 10-minute workout, watch it on YouTube and say, right, okay, I want to do this today. You've got a library of hundreds of videos that you can look at. And online, you've also got a personal trainer, myself, that you could email and just say, hi, I need some motivation. Can you help me out with X, Y, and Z? Then you've also got course options. You've got a personal training plan that you can say, okay, for the next 90 days, I want to work one-on-one with Michelle, and I want to really embrace personal training experience on an online format. So get in touch if you need anything at all. If you have any questions, please let me know. Don't give up. Don't give up. Just now we're going through the hardest time ever. We're feeling tired, we're feeling stressed, we're feeling depressed, we're feeling anxious. All of these buzzwords that you hear are tangible and real, especially to parents. At the moment, parents are absolutely struggling so much because they are trying to balance and juggle multiple different roles within their households. So it's extremely difficult times. Fitness will help you. Exercise will help you. You have to trust me on that one. I've worked with clients for years and years and years from very, very different backgrounds, and I can honestly tell you the common thread is those that exercise can cope a little bit better with stressful situations, a little bit nicer where things are really getting on top of them. Anxiety can lift. Depression, insomnia, anxiety, these are very, very tough mental health conditions. They're so difficult, and it can really take you a long time to get through that process. I'm talking months, not weeks. So if you're in these positions, then this situation of the advice you hear from well-minded people, get up and exercise, actually try and think through, what can I do? And if you're cocooned in your home and you have kids around and you have no spare space at all, just one day, just take a deep breath and think, okay, I'm going to do a workout with my kids and see if they will do it with me. I'm going to have a little bit of downtime with them and see if they will enjoy it. I'm going to relax my shoulders and just, take a big deep breath and see if they will come with me and do this walk or whatever it may be. Hang in there. Really focus on getting through this stage, creating goals that work for you, getting those habits done. Write out your little business cards for your wallet about your motivation, and really take some time to think through, what is it I need to do really to move this forward and to embrace a healthier life. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to get in touch. My name is Michelle Kaida and my email address is hello@fitmama.io. Thank you.